With the Arizona audit finally winding down, the question on everyone's mind is, what if Trump won? Well, that's what we're going to be answering in this video. Even left-wing news sites are asking this question, and we're going to take a look at how they're answering it. You're going to have an opportunity to comment down below and let us know what you think. And stick around to the very end of this video where I give you the number one thing we'll see if the Arizona audit favors Trump. You're not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone. Dr. Steve here with you. Great to be with you as always. We are your daily fake news antidote, as each and every day we provide patriotic analysis to help you to think better so you can feel better in these crazy and turbulent times. So if you haven't already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe. Before we begin, again, we've got an amazing deal for you from our good friends over at Virtual Shield. You are going to love this one. Virtual Shield is the leader in VPNs, or virtual private networks, on your desktop, tablet, or mobile device, which protects your identity while browsing the internet. And for just this month, the month of July, they're offering 50% off their subscription plan for life. You get half off for the life of your subscription if you sign up in July. It doesn't get better than that. So make July the month. You take the plunge and begin protecting yourself. Click on the link in the description below and sign up for a risk-free 30-day trial to Virtual Shield VPN today. All right, gang, let's dive right in here. The leftist site Slate.com had a fascinating article published of late entitled, "What if the unorthodox Arizona audit declares Trump won?" With the byline, "That outcome is looking more and more likely." It's a fascinating read, not only because it readily admits that it is looking increasingly to be the case that the Maricopa County audit will indeed show significant discrepancies between the audited results for the November election, which look increasingly like they'll be in Trump's favor, versus the results that were originally certified by Arizona's Secretary of State. Not only that, but the article gets into a number of scenarios of what will be the potential results or the consequences of the announcement of just such a discrepancy. Now, just a bit of a backstory here. Back in December of last year, the Republican-dominated Senate in Arizona issued subpoenas to conduct a full forensic audit on the Maricopa County vote. Now, Maricopa County is 4.5 million people, okay, includes the city of Phoenix. It's at least 60% of the vote in the state. So what happens in Maricopa basically happens to the whole of the state, right? But after Republican Senator Eddie Farnsworth issued the subpoenas, election officials actually did everything they possibly could not to comply with the subpoenas. So the courts had to get involved and required them to hand everything over. And once they did, over the last several weeks, a private company known as Cyber Ninjas has been conducting one of, if not the most comprehensive and massive vote audits to date. Apparently, the forensic audit is complete, and they're currently writing their official reports. And so officials are saying that the process will go on for another couple of weeks. Here's what Representative Mark Finchem, the state representative from Arizona, who was instrumental in successfully getting this forensic audit conducted. Here's what he had to say about the status of the audits for this week. Check it out.
One of the most important things, and I know people are getting weary of it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. So am I. But here's the blunt truth of it. This has got to be complete and accurate. It's got to be double checked. It's got to be verified, because the moment the audit report is released, there are going to be individuals from different camps. No matter what camp is offended, there are going to be people who are going to attack this viciously. They're not going to like the people we're already seeing. They don't like the people that are doing the audit because they're, quote, partisan, or they might have bias. Show me an individual in this world right now who doesn't have some level of bias. They don't exist. Now, what you can hope for, and I think what President Fan has done a great job at moving towards, is that when you find people who care more about a professional reputation than they do their own personal opinion, now you've got something to work with. So I've got every confidence in the folks who are doing the audit. I know that the Secretary of State is doing everything she can to blow this up. But I think it's interesting that instead of saying, I want to be a part of this and I want to observe and I want to provide feedback, she's doing everything the opposite. And you would think.
And that is key here. This audit is already being savagely attacked by the mainstream media, where every single day they're doing their best to disparage the efforts. The Washington Post had a particularly bitter piece. A supposed expert in audits and recounts recently visited Maricopa County and wrote, quote, "Post-election audits and recounts are almost always conducted under the authority of local election officials who have years of knowledge and experience. The idea of a government handing over control of ballots to an outside group, as the state Senate did when hiring a Florida contractor with no elections experience, was bizarre. So I figured it would be unconventional, but it was so much worse than that. In more than a decade working on elections, audits, and recounts across the country, I've never seen one this mismanaged." That's right, only those pre-approved by the permanent political class are competent enough to audit a vote overseen by the permanent political class. You see how it works? If there was ever an example of the fallacy of circular reasoning, there you've got it. But regardless, there's already a full court press to completely discredit this audit. And if this Vice article is any indicator, it's because they know that the results are going to most likely come back in Trump's favor. And so the far left-wing activists at Vice are asking the question, what happens if and when the Arizona audit results come back with Trump having won? What then? Now, Vice recognizes that this indeed is uncharted territory, and they're right. We've never been in this position before as a constitutional republic, right? We've never had an audit like this conducted by the cyber ninjas, right? Nothing that I know of in terms of its extent and detail. And we've never had a situation where the results of a presidential election, that's key, a presidential election, called into question months after the results were certified. So we're on uncharted territory here. But the leftists at Vice offered their own assessment of what to expect if the audit goes Trump's way. And I gotta say, their assessment really wasn't very good. They seemed frankly stupefied by the entire process. But I think they were right on one thing for sure. If the audit results show that Trump won Arizona, first and foremost, we can expect nothing less than an avalanche of audits to come as a result. Now, that prediction is already being partially fulfilled right before our very eyes. You will definitely want to check out a video I did on Pennsylvania joining Georgia and Arizona in forensic audits. Pennsylvania State Senator Doug Mastriano has sent an official letter requesting all ballots and voting data from 3 counties, which will turn into subpoenas if election officials fail to comply. You'll definitely want to check out that video. So that's the first thing I think we'll see if the Maricopa County audit comes out in Trump's favor. We will see an avalanche of audits in every single contested state. The Republican legislatures in those states will have enormous pressure from their constituents to conduct a full forensic audit on their vote. But the second thing I think we'll see is that the GOP will absolutely be emboldened to pass even more election integrity reform legislation. We can expect red state after red state to pass laws that will send the Democrats into absolute hysterics. Democrats are already doing everything they can to stop these election integrity laws, making fools of themselves in the process. I mean, the vast majority of the voting population supports these election integrity reforms, and we could expect even more of them to come immediately following a pro-Trump Arizona verdict. Thirdly, I think in many respects, Biden's presidency will basically be toast. Now, of course, again, we're on uncharted territory here, but just in terms of the credibility of his presidency, he'll basically be finished. He's already been falling in the polls. And for millions, tens of millions of voters who didn't vote for him, Maricopa County will completely and totally discredit any semblance of legitimacy that he might still have among such voters. And finally, the number one thing that is going to happen if the Arizona audit finds in Trump's favor is the stage will be definitively and officially set for Trump's return in 2024. As we saw from the CPAC convention over the weekend, Trump still absolutely dominates the GOP in the field for potential presidential candidates. He won the straw poll hands down by 70%. I mean, you know, frankly, you don't get more dominant than that. And so, with the potential announcement of Trump's Arizona win for Republicans, and that's, of course, key for Republicans, that will be it. It will serve to secure the support for Trump that he already overwhelmingly has, making 2024 an election year like never before. Now, before you go, you will definitely want to check out my latest video I just uploaded on how 61% of our counties are now officially Second Amendment sanctuaries. It's all part of the rise of sanctuary states. It's going to absolutely make your day. So make sure to click on the link, and I will see you over there. God bless.